Well, hi there, and welcome to Be Inspired. I am in Arizona. We are transferring to Arizona, retiring. My husband retired, so I am recording today's guest, Loralee. She's out in Texas. And Loralee, go ahead and tell us, what do you do for a living?
I am a registered nurse. I work in the ER. I've been a nurse I hit my 12-year mark this year. So exciting times for being a nurse.
Oh, you're on the front line. We'll be talking about that. Congratulations on 12 years. What I want to share with everybody is that I met Loralee a few years ago when we were both going through the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy training program. We're both certified functional medicine coaches. And so we were in different states and we really didn't know each other, but we had assignments. So we powered through assignments together and we ended up with a really great friendship. And I was able to meet her in person, several times. Now we've gotten together and we really enjoy each other's company. I think we're friends for life. And she just has such a powerful story because so many people struggle with some of the pillars of health and well-being. One of those, nutrition, food, and we equate dieting and losing weight. So many of us struggle with losing weight. We're caught in a vicious cycle, or we have autoimmune diseases, or whatever is holding us back from succeeding. I think that Loralee has some great things to share today because she's had a journey struggling with getting to the healthy weight that she's on a journey toward. And then also movement, another pillar of health, moving the body, exercising, whatever you want to call it. She was not a fitness person. She did not want to exercise. And she not only has embraced it, she loves it. So she has excellent things to share. And I think the best place to start with Loralee and her journey on changing, creating lifestyle changes, creating new habits would be at the beginning. So let's hear the beginning of your story, Loralee. Where does that story start for you?
So I think it's important to, first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this because I hope that someone will be inspired to create a change to a healthier lifestyle. So I guess my timeline per se would be, in high school, I was an athlete, like all around, all year, volleyball, basketball, softball, track, like all of that. Then you go to college, and I gained 20 pounds in college, graduate college. Then you start working night shift as a nurse and develop, unhealthy eating habits. I remember getting off in the morning, I go to Corner Cafe, get biscuits and gravy, go home, go to bed, sleep. So that first year, I think as a nurse, I gained another 20 pounds working night shift, not knowing when to eat, where to eat, what to eat, all that stuff. And then being in the ER, I mean, it's stressful. You don't always get lunch, so then if you've worked 12 hours, you haven't eaten, you go home and you gorge a bunch of food. And so over the years, I have gained close to 85 pounds. So I think, oh my gosh, sorry. Looking back, it's just crazy. I think 85 pounds, my goodness, like that's a whole person. So that's kind of how I got to where I am. This week, kind of a tangent, I hit my 50-pound mark. I've lost 50 pounds. So it's super exciting for me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you share, you went from all of this extra weight and probably not feeling good about yourself, struggling, where a lot of people are, especially with COVID. We've been in lockdown. There's the joke out there about the COVID-15, but it's not just a joke. During this time, a lot of people have turned to comfort food, poor food choices, and carrying around a little extra weight. So moving forward, they're going to want to hear what made the difference for you this time? How did you decide? How long ago was it? 8 months ago, you really started your journey? What made the
Yes.
difference? How did you know you were ready for change? What was different?
I tore my ACL and meniscus. So 8 months ago, I was 6 months post-op. So I just decided, and I think this has been the key for me, is just deciding and making up my mind that I wasn't, because that knee injury had me so limited. I just decided I wasn't going to put myself in a position that I would be that limited. And when you've got all that downtime, your mind goes crazy and not being able to move. And it made me realize how much I took for granted that I had the ability to move. So it was time to get back to moving my body again. So I think that's been the biggest thing, is just for people, you just have to make up your mind you're going to do it. And then I think finding a support team, all avenues, different angles for, different walks of life for people to support you. I think that's been huge. And what's kept me consistent is having a plan, because, I can scroll on Pinterest all day long, looking at these workouts, looking at this or that, getting motivated, finding quotes. But until you make a plan and execute that plan, I never did it. And I mean, I go week by week now, what are my days I'm working out? What are my, leg days, my training days, my run days? So just getting specific about my plan and just holding myself to that has
That's
been
beautiful.
the key for me.
Right. And that's huge, because so many of us want change, whatever that change is: learning to manage stress, learning to sleep better. How do we move better? How do we lose that extra weight? So in health coaching, and what I heard you sharing were some of the things that we learned that you actually executed for success. The first thing, finding out your why. What's important to you? Your why. And you said during that downtime, you didn't want to be limited for life. You realized you were taking things for granted. And I think that's very relatable, because whether somebody's had surgery or not, when we're carrying extra weight or whatever we're carrying in our life that isn't serving us, it weighs us down. It keeps us from doing things we want to do. And that's what happened. So that was so much stronger. We look at the decisional balancing of, where I want to be, as opposed to staying here. And
Right.
You wanted more. You didn't want to be limited for life. You just said enough. So if any of our listeners are in that place, decide what your why is. Everybody has their own. It's part of your journey. So you have to identify your own why. Why is this important to you? And if you don't identify that, it's hard to have change and create. You have to create that change. So identifying your why is a good first step. And then I heard you talk about a plan. In coaching, we work with clients to create a plan, a wellness plan, a vision. And so we learned about SMART goals, and maybe some of the listeners have heard about SMART goals, but we make them measurable, and you incorporated that right away for success. Can you tell us a little bit about what worked for you, in case it might work for others, as far as setting goals?
Mm-hmm. So I am a numbers girl. I love numbers. I love watching numbers move. So I found a gym. I got a personal trainer. I asked him for a 100-day challenge. So I made a poster. I literally wrote out numbers 1 to 100 to get through my 100 days. And it was to stop drinking sugar. So that was a huge victory for me, because, every day I'm checking off, I'm so excited. Oh, I made it a day. I made it a week. I made it 2 weeks. And then by I'd say 3 or 4 weeks, I wasn't even marking it off anymore, because it wasn't even oh, I need a Coke, or I need, a sweet tea from Chick-fil-A. things like that. So I also wrote out my weight goals,
I
how
love
much
the
I still need to
visual.
lose. So I've actually, this is not updated, but yeah, it's just seeing the numbers move. And for me, I put all of this in my bathroom because I see it every day. And it's just that vision, that visual to see those numbers move, to see your progress, because I think it's important to celebrate the journey. And I wrote down every 5 pounds I lost, I would do something, whether it be a mani pedi or shoes or a new sports bra or whatever. So that kind of helped keep me motivated. So
That's awesome. Those are great, great strategies. You said you gave up sugar. That's like huge because that's what's holding most people back. I don't know if they're even aware what a hit it takes on the health, but it hijacks our taste buds and it gives us false energy. But that is probably one of the biggest culprits for weight gain is sugar, straight out sugar, and hidden sugar in foods that we aren't even aware about. But actually giving up pop and sweet tea, 100 days. Did you ever want to cave after day 3 or 4 or 5? Did you have temptation? What did you do? That's
well,
huge.
for sure I did. But I just, just make it to that 100 days. And honestly, after that 100 days, I drank a Coke and I was just like, it's not what it used to be for me. So it's not my life anymore.
That is so cool. So that was, when we talk in coaching terms, a sustainable lifestyle change. You set little goals that added up to big, and now it's a lifestyle change. You have cut out one of the huge things in your life, just that sugar from those drinks. What a
Mhm.
great step in changing your health and
Yes.
dropping those numbers. So that's probably one of the first things you would advise somebody to do is look at what's tripping them up. The biggest thing probably
Mhm.
as far as food, it might be sugar, it might be fried foods, it might be fast foods. So let's talk a little bit more about food. Um, did you go on a special diet?
No, I just have modified, I guess. I still will eat a cheeseburger. I still will eat Chick-fil-A nuggets. I just don't have the fries with it. So I've just kind of modified things out, and try to, I know going through the coaching academy that if you take something away, you got to add something in. So then you're not so off, per se. But I eat, and I've never in my life eaten sweet potatoes, but can't get enough of them now. So, and I don't crave white potatoes, um, because sweet potatoes are just rocking my world right now. So,
That's so cool. And that's the journey for everyone. Whatever works for you may or may not work for the next person. But what you're saying is you didn't go on a specific diet. You listened to your body. You took away things that weren't serving you, that were more harmful than good. And you started adding in things that were actually better for your body. And you've learned to embrace those and enjoy those. Sweet potatoes, that's something that I enjoy now, but I didn't grow up with as a kid. So I think that's another key thing that you shared that's really, really helpful for people out there. Let's talk about the moving aspect. So you were an athlete, you were busy all through high school, it dropped off in college and into your career as a nurse, and you were injured with your ACL surgery and realized all the changes you needed to make. One of those changes you knew you wanted to do was start moving, exercise. So how did you decide, and how much energy did it take, or willpower? Were you scared to find a gym and commit and go in when that wasn't your world?
I don't think I was scared. I just think it goes back to that. I had just made up my mind that I was going to do it. I was going to lose the weight. I was going to get to my goal. I didn't care how long it took. I didn't care how much it cost. I was going to get there and I was going to get it done. So I found an awesome gym that provided a lot of support, a lot of patience, because, 34 years of bad habits, that's hard to break. So I was very grateful to everybody at the gym, whether it be the trainers there or other clients high-fiving you. It was just it was a blessing to find that gym. So,
And finding a tribe to support you and hold you accountable, how important is that for this journey?
I think it's probably one of the top 2 or 3 things that you have to have that. And I'm in Texas. I've only been here for a year and a half, so I don't have a lot of friends here. So thank goodness for technology, that it's still, you can reach a friend, like make a phone call or send a text, like to get encouragement or things like that. So yeah, establishing just a core group of people to keep you on track, I think is super important.
And with your exercise, just like food, making baby step changes, you made baby steps along the way with your fitness, and you had goals. So while your trainer was setting you up for goals, what did those goals look like, and what did your goals look like with your, I know you had some fun things at home you did outside to help.
Yes. I think goal-wise, I think the biggest thing for me was logging my food. So when my coach, set, macros for eating, that was just a daily goal. Let's stay in this range. Just keep your eye on the numbers and things like that. If I ate bad for lunch, then I'm going to have to eat really good for dinner. So that was very important.
Instead of throwing it all out the window. Maybe I didn't make good choices at lunch. I'm done for the day. Oh, well, I'll start tomorrow. You just were back on track and aware.
Yes.
Good.
I also have this little board here that I have in my bathroom because I love
vision board.
I love quotes. So
Motivation.
Bathroom as well. I also went out and bought a pair of shorts that I wanted to be able to fit into. I can't fit into them yet, but I'm getting there. I put a bikini up and so I see this stuff every day. And then I put a victory dress up. The special thing about this is actually my second one in a smaller size. So because I tried that on, I just happened to try it on the other day, and I'm like, oh no, it was too big. So that was exciting, and just having that, again, the visual there, and just, it's those small victories that have kept me going, throughout this, that was a win for that day, getting and seeing the scale move and things like that. So I think it's important to have those reminders.
Absolutely. They really help with motivation, staying on track. And you're a nurse, you're on the front lines. We have a lot of stress in the world. You're exposed to a lot of stress daily. How did you survive COVID pandemic as a nurse during these stressful times and stay on track? Because most people were derailed. You not only survived, you thrived. You stayed on track with your workouts, and you continued with your goals and losing weight. How is that possible?
I think it goes back to that. I had made up my mind, and when all of this, at the beginning stages of all of this, I'm texting my coach, what do I need? And he's like, go get a kettlebell, so I was fortunate enough to be able to get one of those, get some resistance bands, things like that, to be able to still do stuff at home. I amped up my running game because what else do you do? I mean, you can still go outside, so I was still able to get that in, so that helped. So yeah, it was just staying on track, just making that plan. Okay, how do I modify this? How do I remain fluid with this obstacle here? Because, I could have very easily fallen off track. And when you work that hard, I didn't want to go back.
And that's beautiful. Your why. It comes back to that why. You really have to establish, why is this important to you? Because that needs to keep coming back up to keep it sustainable lifestyle change. You keep moving forward, even during crisis, even during stress, because there's always going to be something coming up in our lives to derail us. Mm-hmm. But when you know your why and you're setting yourself up with support and goals, you can keep moving forward. And that's huge. I think one of the things that I'm most impressed about that you and I have discussed that I want you to share is managing the stress and the news. What has been your exposure to the daily news?
I don't have a TV, so I think that has helped. I haven't had a TV in years, probably 10, 12 years. So just not getting all of that energy, and on Facebook, it's just like, okay, I'm unfollowing, because I don't want that constant, feedback because it's just overwhelming. So
it is. It's very, very overwhelming. So much information from so many different directions. So you were able to stay on track. You have lost 50 pounds on your journey. Congratulations. That is so exciting. But the most important thing is that you've created wellness. You've created healthy habits. You have found your support and your tribe and what works for you. What advice would you have for anybody today that's just starting their journey?
I would say, make up your mind, get your support, make a plan, and give yourself some grace. And, for me, my journey, it's a lot of it has also been about, self-forgiveness. Like I'm not going to be hard on myself every single day if I, had a cheeseburger. Like, okay, eat it, let it go, tomorrow do better. That'd probably be what I would say to people. And you can do it. It's doable. I'm not a vegetable eater, and I have smoothies with spinach and kale in them. And
you get it in your hand, right?
Yes. So it's just, and tailor it to you, because what works for me might not work for you. I think also finding inspiration. I have some of my biggest people that have inspired me is my cousin Casey. She is a mom of 3, and she, I think last week, hit her 50-pound mark. So, but she does a whole different, avenue of training. Like she does all virtual stuff. And then my cousin Robert, his wife Cindy, and Selena, because Robert did keto, and he was very successful for that. And he, just seeing the change in him kind of sparked some motivation in me. And then to see how his change sparked change in his wife and his child. I mean, it was just a really beautiful thing. And I'm sitting here going, well, if these people can do it, like I can do it. Like,
right.
So I would say that too, like find something that inspires you or people that inspire you, because having a fan club, it's awesome. And being able to cheer other people on, it's it's just awesome because you see people brighter and glow and just a happiness to them. It's just, I don't know, kind of, it's my thing. That's my sappy thing.
Well, it's beautiful. It's wonderful. And I'm sure other people will be inspired. We're inspired by you. And anyone out there that's watching, be sure to thumbs up, like, subscribe so you can see other guests in the future, because people like Loralee have lots of wonderful things to share to help us on our journey. And Loralee, you have been very inspiring today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.